Look at this guy. In just 2 weeks, Paul Barris is calling it a career, and what a career it has been. For the past 36 years, Paul has tracked all sorts of severe weather, but 3 major events stand out. And tonight, Paul looks back at those 3 unforgettable storms that changed so many lives, including his own.
A lot of authority in your voice. This is the real thing.
Usually I'm pretty conservative about this stuff, but this time it looks pretty good.
Paul Barris has long said the daily duties of forecasting the weather, usually routine or even mundane at times, are just practice for when the big one comes.
6 to 12 inches of snow is my good guess here.
And one of the biggest was March 12, 1993, long known as the Blizzard of '93. The Tennessee Valley was blanketed by some 20 inches of snow, and even in the pre-digital era, Paul saw it coming several days in advance.
You have to remember, the old record in Chattanooga was 12 inches, and that was back in the 1800s. So I said, I can't go 20, 30 inches of snow. I can't even get, I said, maybe half that. I'll do half of that. So about 10 to 15, if I remember correctly, that's something like that's what I predicted, which is still a record for Chattanooga. And as it got even closer, within 24 hours, it looked even worse. So I stuck with that, and I went on the air, and I remember saying it's going to be the worst storm in the history of Chattanooga. And nobody believed me. People, as a matter of fact, some people were upset. We are going to get dumped on around here. I mean, something you haven't seen in a few years. It was full-fledged snowstorm blizzard that even I knew was coming, but still to see it, it was hard to believe. And we had thunder snow. And we got to the station and we went on the air, and you and I went on the air, and we did really sort of radio/TV on the air, and we had people calling up. We opened the live lines, and people were calling up asking for this, that, they need insulin here. There were people, I don't know how they did it, but there were people with snowmobiles going down the roads. Where they got them, I have no idea.
I don't think any of us could have conceived that we would start with storms early this morning and still be talking about them before midnight.
That's because, Cindy, nothing like this has ever happened before.
Moving ahead to another major storm, the date April 27, 2011 will long be remembered for a series of tornadoes that ravaged the viewing area from morning through late night, resulting in a wide swath of death and destruction. 80 people lost their lives in a 60-mile radius of Chattanooga. Paul joined the coverage that morning and rarely left his post for the rest of the day.
I think that says 93 miles an hour. Nick, does that say? It says 93 miles an hour. That's how fast the storm is moving. This is unbelievable. If it's even half that, at 45 to 50, that's still strong, but it's probably, I know 93 is awfully fast. And we stayed on the air till 11 that night. So it was 12 hours straight of what we call in the business wall-to-wall coverage. And that covered no commercials. We were talking. I drank a lot of water. I remember that day. I drank tons of water. Tremendous twisting of the winds in this situation. More than likely a tornado just a little bit to the east of Scottsboro up over Sand Mountain. When I went off the air that night, after 11 o'clock news was all over with, everything was past us, I said, folks, it's over with now. Get some rest. It's going to be a long day tomorrow. We're going to see things tomorrow in the light of day that you've never seen in your life before. And I said, as far as physical damage, this is the worst thing to happen to the Tennessee Valley as a whole since the Civil War.
The most recent storm was just over a year ago, on April 12, 2020. It was Easter Sunday, and Paul joined meteorologist Allison Pryor for coverage as tornadoes began forming late in the day. 10 lives were lost as 7 tornadoes made their way through the area, including an EF3 in East Brainerd with a true twist.
It picked up debris, and the radar now can not only see where the rain is, it could tell you how fast the wind's blowing, but also saw that debris ball and told you there was a debris ball, which indicates it's on the ground. It's not a theory, it's not a maybe, it is. And when we saw that, because I remember I was looking at the winds on it, on the computer, and while we were on the air, and Allison said to me, Paul, you have to look at this. And we looked at another aspect of the radar, and it popped up, it just like it looked like a bullseye. And I just said, oh my. because it's the first time I'd seen that in the viewing area, a debris ball like that. And that's when we started really telling everybody, this is for sure. And I was scared, but when you're on the air like that, the adrenaline's flowing, but you have to stay calm. Right. Because if you don't, everybody panics.
Our celebration of Paul continues on Monday as we look back at how meteorology has changed over the years. In fact, Paul takes us back to way back to the 1970s, when forecasting a hot day meant taping a picture of sun on a map. I understand there are also lots of magnets and magic markers. Times have changed. Find out more Monday on Eyewitness News at 6.